Hi, this is Nasir. In this demo, I'll show you how to use Apigee as OAuth resource server, where Ping is the authorization server. I'll show you how to authenticate APIs based on tokens issued by Ping. More importantly, I will show you how to map PingFederate issued OAuth tokens to the client IDs on Apigee Edge. Here's the use case overview. You have an app that uses existing APIs and is protected by PingFederate. So the customer logs into the app, gets authenticated against PingFederate. PingFederate gives the customer an OAuth token. The application uses the OAuth token to make the API calls. Now you want to add two new features into this app, for which you have published two APIs on Apigee Edge. And you want the application to be able to use these APIs as it uses the existing APIs leveraging the PingFederate issued OAuth token. And you also want to use Apigee's productization capabilities such that Joe, your gold customer, can access any of the prediction APIs, whereas Adam, your silver customer, cannot. For this demo, I've created two API products, the Finance Prediction API and the Finance Review API product. And correspondingly, for these two products, I have created two proxies, the Finance Review proxy and the Finance Prediction proxy. Let's take a look at Finance Prediction proxy. All I have in the Finance Prediction policy is the validate shared flow. Validate token share flow is responsible for validating the token that is issued by Ping. Now let's take a look at that shared flow. This is how the validate token shared flow looks like. The very first step I have here is the validate token. For an incoming request with a Ping issued access token, a brand new access token, this filter fails. This filter fails because it doesn't know anything about the token. And the subsequent part of the filter will try to get this incoming token validated from Ping. For that, we need to authenticate ourselves with Ping, for which I'm using client ID, client secret that I have configured earlier on Ping. This client ID, client secret can be retrieved from an encrypted KVM. For now, I'm hard-coding the values in the previous filters. In the service callout, we'll make a call on the introspect endpoint of PingFederate, passing the access token, asking PingFederate to validate this token. If this token is valid, PingFederate will send us a response which has in the body an active flag which is set to true. If that is true, that means the token is valid. What we are interested is in the metadata attributes of the token, specifically the subscription metadata attribute of the token, which I decided to use in this particular use case to map to Apigee client ID. Now that metadata attribute could be anything. And I decided to use a one-to-one mapping wherein a subscription string matches the Apigee client ID. Also too, you will notice that Ping also sends the original client ID that was actually used while requesting the access token from Ping by the end user. We will also store this as part of additional OAuth attributes on Apigee Edge. So let's see how we are storing these attributes in Apigee. Now that we retrieved these attributes from Ping, we will save the Ping issued access token on Apigee, for which we will use the OAuth filter, the OAuth policy to save the token. You'll see we are using the external access token attribute, specifying that this is an access token generated by an external identity provider. An important attribute for us in here is, look, we are using the apigee.client ID as the client ID, and we are saving the Ping client ID as an additional attribute for future references. We are using the Ping provided expiry time to be the expiry time of this saved access token. Once this token is created, we will validate this token, and this is very important. what just happened is we have stored this ping issued access token on Apigee, but we also want to validate the stored token to ensure that the user who's actually requesting this API indeed has access to this API. Now let's take a look at the demo. See this policy in action. Now in this use case, we will use Adam as a user who's trying to access the review API. Now we know that Adam on Ping is configured with a subscription of Acme Silver, which allows him to access the review APIs based on our products, a silver package and the gold package. So Adam has subscription of silver, so he can access the review APIs, and Joe has a subscription of gold, he can access prediction APIs. Now let's see that in action. Now log in as Adam with a client ID which is specific to PingFederate, and I'm requested a token. I receive a token from PingFederate. I will use this token to make a call to our review API. And before that, let me make sure that I have started the trace filter. Yes, I did. And make a call. And rightly so, I can access the review API. I get the success response back. Well, let's go review the policy itself. And you see the very first time when I invoked, our shared flow got an effect because this is the new access token. The first filter, which is the validated token, failed. We made a call to Ping. Ping responded back with a subscription value of Acme Silver, which corresponds to a client in Apigee. And it also responded back with a Ping client identifier, which we're going to save. So we'll see that we are saving this access token, and then we are validating this access token, and we see Adam has a client identifier of Acme Silver, via which he gets the access to the review API. Now let me just make another invocation to the same API. On my second invocation, you would see when it comes up here that the shared flow is never executed. The very first step is successful because Apigee now inherently knows that yes, this is a valid access token which was issued by Ping. Now let's try to make a call requesting a prediction API instead of a review API, which is not part of the API package that Adam is allowed to access. Now let's see what happens in that case. And I send a send request, and rightly so, I'm denied access because I don't have access to that particular product. So in this demo, we have seen how to configure Apigee as OAuth resource server, where PingFederate was the OAuth authorization server. We have also seen how to authenticate APIs based on tokens issued by PingFederate. Finally, we have seen how to map PingFederate tokens to Apigee OAuth clients. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please visit our community site on community.apigee.com. Thank you so much.